We was muted the entire time.
Are you serious? Hey,
We
look, we unmuted now.
we was muted the entire time.
Somebody let you know that?
Yeah, shouts out to you, Richard. Man, appreciate you, Mr. Sarkeesian. God, I'm sitting here talking. You don't know what I can edit all that out. I'm pretty good in Final Cut. I can edit all that. Oh my God.
Oh, you said no audio. Okay, I got you, Richard.
Yeah, we got it. We got it, man. Come on, see.
Somebody said thought it was me.
That's what happens. See, it's been a long day for you. It's been a long day for me. We don't know what's jumping off. I will edit all that out. That first 30 seconds of me just babbling about nothing.
There we go. See, right. I like it. I
there
like
it is. So what I was saying, and hopefully, I'm gonna repeat one more again. Had Keith on a show a couple of weeks ago, and he made a substantial impression on a lot of my extended family. And I said, listen, because he's a quality guy, right? Quality man. So it just makes sense for us to get together, have conversation, have conscious conversations, go ahead and just sit here and chop it up a little bit and just try to make some positive differences in the world. We're not gonna boil the ocean and try to do everything, but I think one of the challenges that I see really is that a lot of time men don't have conversations about things that matter. We always clowning and playing and doing everything else, but we don't take care of each other as much as we should. And it's not just men. It's not just a men thing, I don't think, right? But I want to start there and just have conversations with people that are doing good things, or true family people, true faith-based people, who are doing businesses and doing things like that. And then let the audience interject as well. We just going to be here and chop it up. I got some things, but I told Keith that this is not just me to him. This is definitely 360 degrees. We going to just talk about whatever may come our way, man. So now that we got audio, man, now we got audio. And since we're streaming to both of our communities, right? I know I'm going out to LinkedIn on my side, to YouTube. I'm going out to my Facebook brand page as well. And I believe we're going to your YouTube page. For my audience who doesn't know you, if you can give that 30-second elevator pitch to folks, tell them who Keith Pelzer is.
Oh, wow. 30 seconds.
But come on, that's a long ride. I know, that's a long ride. Dude,
it's easy. I'm Keith Pelzer. A songwriter, producer, husband, father, and now some people say content creator. That's getting a little played out, but I'm just me, right? And I do like to talk, but I'm a person that believes in change comes through conversation. There's a place where you cut it off. It's a place where it's overwhelming, but it's always a place where it's necessary. And so I like talking with people that make sense when they talk. Even when it doesn't make sense, they can make it make sense. So that's just pretty much me.
Man,
here we go.
What you doing talking to me then? Because I can I can spur up some trouble. I told you I got haters out there. I got some trolls out there in these internet streets.
Called tension, man. You want tension sometimes,
Look, if I put out a post before we went live. I said, if you don't have any haters, you're not winning. So I must be doing something somewhat right. I'll just leave it at that.
Absolutely.
So for Dr. Pelzer's audience that doesn't know me, I'm James Hicks. I classify myself as an enterprise entrepreneur. I'm into high tech. I've been in the high tech industry for over 3 decades. Started content creation really about 10 years ago, man, with WordPress, with blogging, and doing all of that with the textual piece, but really locked in after or during the pandemic. I said, I want to get into this video thing, and went head first in and said, listen, let me go ahead and get all the things. Let me go ahead and get the lights, the cameras, the action, and found some folks that were resonating with that message as well. And one of those folks at the top of that list was Mr. Pelzer here. Yeah. So, man, so we've been trying to connect for many years. I was 100 feet from you in New York last year. And I'm gonna blame my wife. It's not me. She's not listening. She's traveling right now. She in Southern. I'm gonna blame her for that 100 feet, and I couldn't come see you and Tina. So, But
No
we gonna make
worries.
it happen. We gonna make it happen. Let me ask you, since you started doing more content creation, and this is just a conversation again that I want to have with you. Again, folks, if you want to chime in as well, what's that draw to content creation? Why do you do what it is that you do? I mean, you take some pretty cool pictures, right? You got
Ooh.
this. You got the sickest camera, right? You got that Sony A7 V, a Mark V. You got the lens, the 70 to 200, right? You got all this massive gear. You got all this high end gear that you're going to see out there at the NFL games on the sidelines. People using to get those shots. What's been that draw? Why do you do that? Right? What has been that pivot to make you say I'm a do less? I guess of the music production, because that's what you got the plaques on the wall for. That's what you got the people in the Rolodex that you can call up at any time and they can come to your studio.
I wish it was that easy.
Man, just roll with this, man. Bro, I'm trying. You know,
I wish it was that easy.
You know, if Jill wanted to come over to the crib and cut up some more lyrics, right? Y'all can do what y'all need to do, right? If Philip Bailey wanted, see, come on now, just roll with me on.
Yeah. You know, it's crazy you mentioned about the cameras and stuff. I'm a person of friend of mine, Jamez Smith. He's a stylist, and I listened to a podcast that he was on, and I know him well, but his story got me. And his story, now mind you, podcast provided the platform where he's not world renowned on that level where you just happen to look at the TV and see him, but he's big, right? And because he was on a podcast, it's recorded, it's out there. I listened to it and I got his story, and everybody that knows him, he's just like, hey, I was on this podcast. And we're like, dude, we didn't know. The thing about him is that everything that we love and know about him, he said it came through a challenge because of what they said he could not do. Right. A lot of what you do great is a push and a passion to get it done, where there's some kind of tension or trauma of people saying what you can't do, or you telling yourself, I wish I could. And you kind of like, there's an opportunity to do it. So what I do is I kind of like narrow things down to, I like pictures, I like music, I like songs. So how can I be the producer? How can I write the song? How can I take great pictures? And a lot of time there's steps to it in this product. So this product, either you go in hard or you don't go in hard enough, right? If you're already creative with your eye, you don't need the best camera. But you can get a great camera because you have a great eye. So in a sense, you want to match your value with your vision, right? A lot of people, they undervalue things and they stifle their vision. So if your vision is here, you want to complement your vision. And that's the reason why you get not the camera down here, and you might not be able to afford the one up here, but you want to get in this space here.
Yeah, okay. You go ahead and you want to stretch that one.
You know.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the short of it. You know, that's the short of it. But as far as like, for everything for me is a ministry. That's how I look at it. And that's the easy part of just saying that everything with me is a ministry.
Well, that just means that you have, I guess in my mind, a higher calling, a higher purpose for doing what you're very locked in, you're very focused, you're very intentional kind of, I would say, on the things that you do, right? You're not just out there randomly putting stuff on Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, all these places, right? But what you do put out there and what you do share, and folks, I'll make sure to put his links to Keith's Instagram in the description. So, but it's of high quality, right? You actually methodically think about it, take time. Listen, you're taking light rigs to parking garages and doing photo shoots with your wife and with your family and with your friends and things like that, and really thinking of the shot, thinking of the idea before you because it represents you. So you want anything that goes out there, and you know the longevity of the internet, and you know the longevity of digital media, it's going to be out there forever. So if it's representing Keith Pelzer, and it's something that you've created, you put it out there. Again, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it's going to be of high quality. So, I mean, that's something I think that folks who spend a lot of time online just pushing out content, whatever it may be, a whole bunch of shorts, a whole bunch of reels, just stuff. and it's subpar. It's just doing it to do it. Think about that. Raise that
Well,
level of raise that game up just a little bit, right? And make sure you do what you do with intention and purpose.
well, you know what? I appreciate that because here's something that I think that we can, because this is like the first time we're really doing this together.
Yeah.
And I think that what I love about you, let me just say this about you. I like how you pull questions. One of my clients that just left, she has an awesome way of asking the question. That's not the norm, but she pushes the envelope. You know, it's the question that makes people think, but it's not throwing off the person they're interviewing, right? It kind of pulls out where the interviewee is like, yeah, that's a good question. You know, I never get asked that, you know, or I never get asked that part of the question. So here's what, you know, it really got me. And that is, I didn't, you know, I do some things and it took me a while to understand the excellency at which I do it. So any client that comes in and sits at this desk, people go, hey, I love your background. Oh yeah, you got the most recent pictures up there. See, look at you, know what you're doing. They're like, they tell the person that's sitting here, they're like, yo, I love your background. And she's like, I can't take credit for it because I'm at the Convos, you know, studio. And that is, you know, Keith Pelzer, you know, and people are like, yo, what made you put that together like that? That is dope. And it's really just my eye, it's vision, it's, you know, my marriage, because I got to give Tina credit where it's due, right? Because, you know, Miss Tina, that's your homie. She loves you. Like, Tina's like, you know, you should put this here, put that there. And she's she's like, you know, do these things. So I'm influenced by the people that I'm around. So the guys that I work with in my studio life, the quality that we put in, the excellency that we put in, it is a part of who I've become. And so it took me a while to really like think about like, dang, the camera is dope. Like, to me, it's simple. I'm just like, oh yeah, I looked up 3-point lighting and I tweaked it to how it works for me.
Right.
You know, I couldn't do this whole room and soundproof it. So I figured out how to do it with the microphone. And people were like, yo, that's dope. You know, you're good at that. I don't really like pause to think how good I've become with certain things because I'm always trying to get better. And trying to get better is never getting complacent. And it's like I wear a shirt of a young friend of mine and it says studying never stops. So if you tell me I sound good, that don't mean I'm going to change the mic because I'm looking for better. It just means I may find a tweaky-ish way to make this same mic sound better. I'm going to change the color on it. And that does so many wonders on the fact that people hear about what they see. And so that right there is another piece where, you know, we're in a place where people see things and they take notice and they listen and they dig in more. But I'll shut up on this. It goes into what is your leadership component. And I believe that everybody in life has a leadership component that they don't realize or touch into.
Man,
how about that?
Hold on, let's let that. And you heard my little sound clip, right? I wanted.
Yeah, I heard it. I heard it. I heard it.
I don't know if Mama's listening, but let's
be clear, okay?
Okay. All right. So I've had that one saved for over a year and a half, and I'm glad I'm using it now. That's pretty interesting, and I hope folks kind of take that nugget and go with it. Because, I mean, you even just pointed to the components in your studio right now. I mean, your glasses and the microphones that you've wrapped right there. That's a Keith Pelzer original right there. That SM7B doesn't come out of the box wrapped like that, right? That's actually, again, your originality, your creativity, and folks within our digital creator content creation ecosystem have seen that and said, "Ooh, man, let me get some of that." Right? Where do you get that windscreen? Where do you get the wrapping paper for that? Because they want to also, again, rise above the norm, be creative. Because again, we're foster. I don't even say fostering. I say we're shepherding our communities.
Yes.
Right? So if we are the ones shepherding those communities, we want to make sure that we kind of obviously are on par with them, but we know just 1% more to them, so we can help guide in the right direction. So what you're doing with the customizations, what you're doing with helping folks with their lights and their cameras and things of that nature, you're showing your expertise. You've actually turned it more into a business opportunity now as well, right? You for a while, were doing, I think he's still doing podcasting and stuff like that. So you've got folks rolling up into the Pelzer house.
Yeah.
And you're setting them up with their own studios and their own environments for digital creation and video mastery and things like that, right?
Yeah, and the good news is once it started getting to the point where I said, I said on my friend Dr. Virdra Jackson's show, it's called The Flip Side of Adversity. When she had me on there as a guest, she said, I'm gonna have the producer engineer on here as a guest. And the thing was, I came out of my mouth and said, you have to protect your yes. And in protecting your yes, you can't just say yes to everybody because everybody wants to do podcasts now. We knew the floodgates were coming in. You and I were ahead of the curve. Dot Rock people was ahead of this curve doing YouTube and video long before the pandemic. But when the pandemic came in, we had to really zero in because everybody now is in the same space because we only had one outlet. Yeah. Well, now those of us who are on edge, it's now everybody woke up to say oh, I need to do a podcast. Podcast ain't just start. It's been out there. Video cast
again, right? Podcast, the old black is still same black, right?
Yeah. And so now everybody's yo, I got to do it. And some of them don't even know why. But I had to say, with each thing I do, some people will watch you and I and say, oh, what light is that you got? They get that light, but that's all they just keep adding stuff and they never get to their place that they need to get to. If you help too many people out, you have to protect your yes, because your yes will take you away from your own platform because you're trying to build everybody else's platform. And so I'll drop something on you that I'm going to talk about with relationships on another thing. And that's called, there's this thing that women will say where it's a guy that you're trying to build up. It's yo, you just got to build a bear. So the thing is, a build-a-bear is kind of you make it what you want it to be. The problem is when we start trying to show off what we have and we build in everybody else's studio, now it becomes your burden and you put the burden on yourself because you're behind what you should have been doing. Okay. So the protecting your yes says you got to know when to cut it off. The good news for me is I'm partnering with someone that has the facility for the studio that's built for people that want to just come in. They don't need their own mic. They don't need to build a room. They just want to come in, say what they got to say, and walk out. Okay. You understand what I'm saying? That's what they want to pay for.
That takes that onus off of you, which is pretty nice. Okay. Yeah.
And so now I'm getting my space back where it's just I'm at a cutoff where the clients I have now, that's it. Everybody else that you want some, where's your space at? We'll build it. Or there's a facility that I'm partnered with that you can go pay them, but you stay out of my space.
So how is that? All right. I mean, because that's a spot, that's a feeling, that's a landmark, I would say, that a lot of entrepreneurs want to get to. Right, you've been able to progress in your craft and your coaching and your abilities. Shouts out to everyone in the comments too. We see it.
Yes, Elo, what's going on?
The Elo and Cheryl. No, that wasn't the soundtrack. That wasn't VP. That wasn't Vice President Kamala Harris. That was the President Tina Pelzer. That was the ma'am of the house. That was TP in the house. Let's do it one more again.
Let's be clear, okay?
Okay.
Let's be clear.
Hey, yeah. And you heard Keith, right? You heard him really, hey, okay.
You would have me in there answering, submitting to her, oh, okay, baby, you right. Sorry.
Yeah. Look, and I'm going to use that one as much as I can. That's going to be like my Nikki Saunders, right? That's going to be like my drop that she uses all the time because she uses kind of a drop like that. That's going to be the one.
I love it.
So what I was leaning to is that, how is that like though now? Because again, you've progressed to a point where you're not just providing consultation for free. Mm-hmm. You're to a point where you've got business coming into your studio. You've got a location that you're going to, and you have the ability to say, I do want this business. I don't want this business. I'm overbooked. And you can be very, very selective.
Right.
How has that changed you and what you do from a content creation perspective and how you market yourself? Just a curious question, right? Because you've evolved and it's in really a short period of time, right?
And well, you know what it is? I think that everyone has, so we're always building off of our past so that when we get to the present, your present is not building off of something that never was present, right?
Hold on, man. Hold on, brother. Come on. Hold on. Some of these you can't just gloss over that right there. Let me go ahead and put my markers on Ecamm. No, let me, because that's gonna be cut up tomorrow. Because you can't just
take your marker. Take it like marker. Because sometimes I say this stuff and I forget what I just said.
Elo, you hear that? I know Elo, he probably taking notes too, but goodness gracious. Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize.
So basically, it's like when you think about where you are, right? You got there from a past. If you go back to that past was a present, right?
Yeah.
And then that past allowed you to be something, and you had to take that present and the past to go forward, to proceed, because we keep proceeding from our present, which will eventually become your past. You'll learn from that past, and that past is going to help you in your present to proceed to the next present, so that you're always presenting yourself based off of what you've accumulated from your past and your proceedings. And so then you prosper off of understanding how to assess your past to get your present right. And so for me, I have a past of music career, stage presence, the whole nine. I grew up in church, for crying out loud. So even when I wasn't preaching, I was listening to preaching. So if you just talk about what you heard preach or you mimic it, that helps you to know how to talk to people, right? And so everything from my past, good or bad, helps me in my present, and it helps me to proceed forward. Now, if you don't deal with your past, the good, bad, the ugly, if you don't deal with none of it, you're actually not helping yourself in progressing or proceeding, because sometimes people are trying to progress, but they never looked at what happened in the past, what stagnated you. How'd you fall off of music? A lot of people, you fell off of music because you was chasing the bag. You were sitting in everything you accumulated, and you got off of your first love. My accomplishments, I have to keep looking at this plaque on the wall, and it's called Words and Sounds. That was because we was basically broke. We don't want to be broke again. But it was because we was really about, she's got words, we got sounds. We put it together, we made an album. Now everybody got some money, and we trying to make the Grammy song. We trying to make the multi-platinum record. We wasn't doing that before. We was just making music.
Wow.
So this is why this kind of stuff works for me, because it's not one of those things where it's like, oh, we trying to get put on to get a podcast like blown up to get the bag. It's just like, yo, we brothers having fun. We talking, and whatever it's going to be, it's going to be. But the difference is we're pouring into the past that I don't even know about you, the past that you don't even know about me. And it's a blessing in this present to proceed to the next.
So there's value in maintaining the lessons that you've had in the past and taking those on with you to the future, to your present and to your future. Because if you don't, you're probably stifling your own growth.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a good way of kind of summarizing some of that? Because again, and if you choose to neglect what it is that made you who you were back then, you may have an empty void as you try to do something different. If you didn't bring that hunger that you had day zero when you were making music, when it was just words and songs, as you said, if you didn't bring that hunger with you forward, you wouldn't have been able to get to the point of having plaques on the wall, whatever, these other things, right? If you didn't bring that hunger with you as you were continuing to evolve, you would have just stopped when you had the bag, when you had the money, when you had the plaques. But the fact that you continued to stay humble in and of yourself, I'm thinking, you were able to elevate what you provided, not just to yourself, right? What actually you gave to society, what you gave to your community, and what you gave eventually to the consumer, and we consume what came out of you and your crew.
Yes. And you know what's crazy? A lot of this has to do with a lot of it does have to do with evolving, right? I don't know why I'm drawn to those apocalyptic movies that, The Walking Dead, or what's the movie, The Dawn of the Dead
don't
and
ask
stuff.
me, man. My dad is watching, and we don't watch their movies because they mess up your sleep. See, brother, don't ask me about that, man.
So I watch him, right? And you know what I love about him is the fact that everybody has to pivot. Everybody has to pivot. Like, you know, the here come the monsters, here come this, that, and the third, and everybody's got to pivot. They got to figure out, what do I do? And so with the pandemic, it helps you. It actually defines who's really built for this moment. You know, who shines in this moment, like the leaders. Y'all know I'm a biblical person, so somebody just said it's biblical on there. Whoever that was, I saw it in the comment section.
Yeah, but they mentioned it was Cheryl. Yeah, I think it was Cheryl coming in.
Okay, Cheryl might say, okay, there's Cheryl P. Very biblical. Here's a biblical for you. Acts chapter 27. You know, Paul's on this boat, and it's just like when the storm comes, the text says there's the captains of the ship, and he's talking to the people that should know. But it's in the storm that he became the captain and the chaos. And there's a lot of people that you now have the opportunity to be the captain in the chaos, and you thrive from there. Like, you help people in the moment of chaos. And that's based off of your confidence in who you built. Now, in that case, it was basically his experience and also his faith that kind of did the big push. But, you know, for us, stepping back off of the Bible real quick, keeping it, you know, secular, not sacred, it's understanding, like, when the pandemic showed up, it's like, wait a minute, how do I exercise the creativity? And the creativity gets people through. I was just saying to somebody, there's a lot of podcasts out that's like, oh, this is how you do this. This is what's wrong with people. This is what's wrong with our neighborhoods. Like the platform you had me on the other week, it was specifically about police brutality and this, that, and the third. It was an in the moment discussion. We should have those, but every platform can't be this what you got to do. It's just, okay, we're having a conversation and you pull from it what helps you. You have the freedom to ask me. And if I say something that helps you, you take and you run with it, you know? So that right there is one of those things where how do you make life a place of peace and productive? And it's not always telling people what to do. It's just exposing the things that we're doing and having a conversation about it to get where we need to go.
And that is really part of the premise behind doing this. Right. That really is behind, because listen, again, I had 2 or 3 questions. I'm sure you probably had a couple as well. But the dialogue that we're having right now and the engagement with the folks in the comments, that's what this is all about. Again, rising up above the noise and having conversations that matter. Grown folk conversations about life, about taking care of oneself, taking care of the sphere of influence, the folks that are around us, and doing better. Right. Trying our best to do better that very next day to ourselves and to our community, to our families, and do those kinds of things. What about the folks that have fallen off? Right. There were a lot of folks that were trying to do this, wanting to do this. I keep leaning towards content creation because, I mean, it's more powerful than just being on YouTube. It's more powerful than just being on LinkedIn. When you own a platform, when you can own and drive conversation with people, and so many people were doing such a great job for a while, right? And they've fallen off for whatever reason. You know, either they thought it was too hard, or it got to be too complex, it got to be too time consuming. But when you come in guns blazing and you really are making a difference because folks are starting to gravitate to you, it hurts us also, the community that you started to build when you fall off. Talk to me a little bit about what your thoughts are. And I'm not mentioning any names, man, right? I mean, you probably got the same handful of folks that I may be thinking of initially right now, but there's tons of others. But I wish they would come back, right? Because I actually miss seeing some of the folks that were driving conversation and driving positive dialogue. But how do we bring these people back that were so ingrained and interested in telling stories back to this?
You know what? If we have to bring them back, they didn't need to be in, or they don't need to be in now. That's the hard truth, right? There's a difference in falling off. It's amazing because, you know, Kombucha's here. Let's put it like this. She got married, you know, bless God, baby and all. She never was out there like, okay, this is that. Like, we had a culture of everybody should try this. And that was the place of everybody seeing, is this for me? Is it not? The good news is some of us learned, I need to partner, and I can partner with 4 or 5 different people.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I am not a platform person, prominent person. Like, in a sense, and I'll just tell everybody this, James is working this thing. Can I do this? Yeah, but he got the brain power for that specific area of it, right? And you working it, bro. I like the way when you take that shot, put it over here, and you're facing this way, and you got me big up there. I like everything you're doing. Like, some people don't know this kind of stuff. I know it because I'm getting to know you. Game recognizes game. But the thing is, everybody, that's not their lane. Right?
Yeah,
the stuff that Doc Rock does, that's not everybody's lane. You and I know that. The 3 of us that I just named, and this include Diana Gladney, we're all not the same. Dr. Elo, he's here. You know, Hunt, we're all not the same, right? Hunt plays keys. So he's got a camera shooting on it, you know, with the keys and doing different things and the audio and stuff. Some of us will be like, we'll be jacked up.
David Hunt need to do a little later in the morning show as well. Because no, it's just too early for me.
But listen, you know, it's crazy when you said like fall off. We've created expectations in the pandemic. Pandemic is kind of like past now, or there's a new norm post pandemic, and what was the pandemic is now into its normalcy, like the flu. Right? People are back outdoors. They're not as scared as they used to be. And what ended up happening is there's people now selling half of their gear because they like, I don't even want to do this.
Yeah.
Because they're not locked in no more. You know, there's other people that they were only buying to create the platform that they were doing when they're going out. Now they can go out again. So why do they need all of this stuff? So they selling it. You see what I'm saying? They downsizing. We still got the cameras. We still got the microphone. We still got the lights. I got lights I can get rid of, but I'm holding on to them because I'm thinking I can put it in another room in another setup. Other people was like, I'm getting that money back, dog. I ain't doing this no more.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm out here on Macari and eBay. I'm just putting my stuff out in the streets, but I hear you. But we're continuing to evolve and upgrade. But go ahead and keep. I'm just
no. You can cut me off.
No, because I can't. Again, there were so many folks that were so deep into it. They were an inspiration and were helping the newbies, helping other folks get into it. And again, there's so much value that I feel in telling these stories. And I'm a huge proponent of owning those platforms. You mentioned a couple of folks who talked about, again,
I like it.
Getting that domain name, getting that davidhunt.live. Getting that Dr. Elo right, getting something that you own that can't be taken away, that you own the direction for, that you own the messaging for. There is so much value in that. And I think if folks really just stop, pause, and thought about that and continue to build their communities that they have on. Listen, I've told everybody I hate Facebook. I will never get a sponsorship from Mark Zuckerberg because we don't own any of that content there. Right. It's all being sold. I would much rather own kind of the conversation and the direction of the conversation on a platform that I maintain to make sure that Kim is getting what she wants. If she comes to the community, she gets what she wants. If I see my mom's in the comments that she gets what she wants. If Cheryl,
hey, Mom.
Right, you know, just those kinds of things. And there's so much power in the fact that now is the time to do that. And if anything, that 2.5 years when the planet stopped, right, when everyone was on B&H and on Adorama and on Amazon buying all that gear or buying these $1,000 phones that have these 4K 60 frames per second phones on them, why not continue to tell those stories? It's so much easier now. We're not using Dreamweaver anymore. We're not using regular old HTML. We're not using the old. It's not difficult anymore to own your conversations. And I really take that to heart, that I wish people would get back into it. And I love the fact that you're doing it in different ways, right? You're not just doing video, you're doing these phenomenal photos as well. You're helping folks with the audio side as well. That's leveling up, and that's where folks really need to be.
So listen, your mama like my mama. She said James is the man. Listen, I love it. I'm trying to keep up
with the comments, but I'm on this soapbox. Good Lord.
No, because I'm able to say, like, so here's what I love about you, and I'm not just saying it because we're next to each other on the screen. it's the kind of conversation that, me being a pastor, I'm not pastoring anymore now, but being a pastor, I used to couldn't stand it when, people in the sermons, they always say, oh, you got to watch your circle. And everybody like, amen. I'm like, all right, let's stop being corny. I get what you're saying, but like, we're grown now. You kind of can know, even if you just want to act stupid, you can jump into that circle of silliness, right? Yeah. I still got them kind of friends that's like, I know they ain't doing nothing good, and I just don't want to do business. I don't want to talk Bible. I just want to chill out. I got circles for that. I don't need nobody to educate me to say, change your circle. We all met each other, you and I, and a community of ECAM people that we know, because we chose that circle. We chose to spend the majority of our day behind that camera in groups and connections. We friended each other. We followed each other's page. We were watching each other, iron sharpen iron. That's what we did. Now, here's a great thing. Kim put in the comments, she says, I still have days of footage. I still have my cameras. I still have my lights. I still have Stream Deck. I miss streaming, just waiting on when the time is right to shake back in energy. Here's the thing. There's some people that they were only jumping in and it made them feel good. It was that dopamine. It was that thing that just pushed them to feel good. So you and I and them, we all weren't saying the same thing when we talk in B&H. For other people, it was just, ooh, I got this. Ooh, I got that. And you start to get a sense of, and you're going to do nothing with it. Right? You're not going to do anything with it. You
still
got it.
You got the stuff in the box. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to know in that moment how to separate yourself from the people that's the talkers but not the doers, right? You got to know the difference. Yeah. And you got to know the people that have purpose or understand purpose. What I love about Kombucha was when I say she was in the cut supporting everybody. True. Through pregnancy, through marriage, supporting everybody. She will always have a space for platform. I want to encourage you, sister, if you do want to do it, you don't have to wait for any time to do it, right? You got the support. You literally can, I'm looking at what she said. I'm waiting for the time to shake back and the energy. It's going to come. Don't worry about your win. Catch up to your win. Your win is now. And so if now takes you 3 months, always chase the now for your win, right? Because you got the people, you got the culture, you got the support, and just understand your why. What's your story to tell? You'll have it. Don't rush it, but it's going to come. I just wanted to drop that on my sis because
it's right there.
She's a perfect example of you don't have to rush it because honestly, Kim, I'm in the same situation as you because I've been supposed to be doing this, Convo's platform. That's a structured podcast. I have not done it yet. And thank God for James because my yes, when he said, oh, let's, we need to jump on at least maybe bi-weekly or something. My yes was easy and I saved my yes. Listen what I'm about to tell everybody. Protect your yes. Your yes is an investment. If you give the yes out, then you are jacked up when the opportunity comes. I would have had to tell James no. Because it's a lot of yes that I reserved. And I was like, nah. Oh, sound good. We'll talk about it.
Own way. If you had gotten in your own way, right? Knowing that there was nothing in the way. You've already gotten back from your travels. You no longer have jet lag. All that food that you is eating is already settled. So you don't have to talk about you got the itis and you're sitting on the couch.
Right.
But you could have said, no, I don't want to do it because that's so appreciate that.
But that draw
for you,
because
not for me. I appreciate that for you of coming to that realization and saying, you know what, this is something that I need to do for me.
Got you. Right. Sammy superstar.
See? Oh my goodness. Come on. We got all the winners in here. We got all
Sammy, that's the man. Sammy's the man. Sammy's the man.
Sammy was the first one who I actually bought some overlays from. Listen, we got people in here that are doing big things. I hit Sammy up with that buy me a coffee early on in the day. That young man right there. Sammy's a genius.
Oh man.
Shouts out to everyone else though. We see you, Dr. Worthy too. Listen, I know you got that FX32 and keep going. Keep going. See
Worthy's out there?
Yeah, listen, he in there. He
Oh,
in
yeah, I
there.
see. I
He
see.
in there
Yep.
with the hashtag. He in there with
Wait a
hashtag.
minute. Can we sidebar? Listen, I'm gonna pick on him.
man. Yeah.
I'm gonna pick on him, and I'm gonna tell you this. This was crazy because so Worthy. This is not personal with you, but I thought about it. It
it's
sparked
personal.
something in me. He put his post up, and it's the same combination I got here: the Sigma 2470 art and a A7 IV, the hybrid Sony body, right? So he's like, oh, I'm getting rid of this. He got the whole setup and the turnstile, and he like, I'm selling it. And I'm sitting there like, I know about 5 people. I'm like, dog, y'all need to buy that ASAP, right? Cause I'm like, but then I'm like, why are you selling that? Right? Cause he's like, I'm getting the FX. And I'm like, I get it, but that's 2 different things. Hear what I'm about to tell you. So I'm just posing something because I know that Steve has his why, and he doesn't even have to prove to me the why. I know his why is legit. But for me, it made me think about people that they'll buy a Godox color light and say, oh, I'm selling it because I'm getting the new Sony Bell. And it's like they're 2 different things. Or it's like you selling a shotgun mic, that mic that you got that I'm hating on you with, your Sennheiser.
No, don't hate.
The retro, like the baller mic. Look at my mic. My mic is not the baller one. It's the $300 joint. Ladies and gentlemen, James has this super expensive, darn near $2,000 mic he got.
See why you gonna don't, at least my address is not out there. No, don't put that out there. And listen, don't come to the house, y'all. I got some things to listen. He dropping numbers.
Worthy, if you did, if Worthy didn't sell that A7 IV, I think I might need to holler at him because man,
he sold that, and you saw his reel right here of the FX30. So he's out there balling, doing his thing, creating content, podcasters live, really retail you. He's doing it, and love to see that and evolving. Too,
He's doing it. I was just thrown off where I'm just like, I didn't get it because I'm like, dude, I want you to keep that. But it's like if photography is not his thing, then it makes sense.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah. That was just my little small thing. I didn't tell Worthy, but I was sitting there like, what is he doing?
What is he doing? I mean, sometimes I wonder too, man. I love I get the text from him like early in the morning because again, he East Coast too, and he'll send me like the pre-release clip before he sends it to his editor, and I said, man, that's nice. And then next thing you know, he's got it in the toolbox.
Man, that thing is right.
As Sammy says, my friend got an FX30 and the footage looks amazing. He rented a $5,000 lens. It looks amazing. Yeah, again, if you can afford that stuff and if you can put it to use and have some value around it, you don't have to spend that kind of money because you can do the same kind of thing with the old Logitech Brio. I can't even say that with a straight face. I'm sorry.
James, I got one for you because I like the way your brain works. I'm gonna twist. Okay. I'm gonna twist something on this real quick.
Okay.
It's understanding the it, right? So I've had this conversation about 4 times on having the it, right? And I can't really. It's like John is in the dictionary now. JAWN, right?
Shouts out to Philly.
And
shouts out to
Philly, right?
Okay.
And it kind of leads you around. It doesn't have a thing. But I learned that looking at your setup, looking at my setup, looking at other content creators, shout out to Coffee and Tech, right? Him and AJ, you see how them 2 are on.
Yeah.
And you see those setups are there. Then you see the plethora of other people that are trying to do that, but you realize they just don't have the it, right? There's something about it that's understanding uniquely who's you and bringing that out. Yeah. And remembering that these things are tools. So 2 things. You don't suppress the tools that you can use and what you can do with it. And then you don't try to live off of the tools. So you and I will play with cameras, but us talking right now, we don't need to play with 18 cameras moving around the room because it's not that kind of thing. True. Right? That 1 shot that we have or the 2 shots that you move to is enough to go because you're working off of the it that you have. Some people, they don't know what their it is.
Well,
right? Go
okay,
ahead. Go ahead.
I see where you're going, and you notice I'm starting to sit up a little straight too, as well, right? If that it or that focus, that intent, because other folks in the community have used that term intent and purpose. I think that was Miss Gladney. Shouts out that she got her new book out. But
Okay.
worrying about the production and how it looks and how it shines, shine bright like a diamond, all of that, as opposed to the conversation, as opposed to the content, as opposed to resonating with the community. Because I only do what I do on my channel for the community. I can talk about a whole bunch of other stuff, but the community is telling me to go down these particular paths. So I'm researching and saying, this is the conversations that we're going to have on this particular channel. Right.
Got
so
you.
when you lock in on that, on what the it is, what your focus should be, what the goal, what your goal is, what you're really trying to do. When you understand what you're really trying to do, when you actually think it, then write it down and then look at it. Right. When the plan becomes a goal after you write it down and you actually implement it, then you start worrying about the ancillary type of thing. You stop worrying about, is my white balance right? Is my f-stop right? I mean, all of that stuff will come and will happen, but you worry less about are my old hue lights that I used to have in here, were they flickering? It is
Right.
all these other things that don't matter. All that matters right now is this conversation. So I'm not overly complicating the conversation, this particular stream, by having a whole bunch of different views. Like I could have multiple scenes. I could have sliders. You've got gimbals. We got cameras all over this place. Look, we're just doing a couple of shots because that doesn't matter. What matters is these two gentlemen here having a conversation, engaging with the community, and having the dialogue based off of the chat as well.
So you hit it. The it part is like you didn't need to be schooled on all of this stuff. Like you have a yearning for it, right? So you're working into that thing that makes you, right? And again, like I said, if you were to just take four of us, just because you got kind of like a partnership, if you take Coffee and Tech, right? You take him and AJ, you take you and I. You put us four on the screen, everybody like, dang, because you got four different looks of like mics and cameras and techie talk and all of this and that. Then you can take a group of four other people and they're just like plastered right there and they can have a great conversation. Then you have other people, they don't have the conversation, nor the tech, nor the I say this all the time, people hear about what they see, right? In this realm. Biblically, we're going to say faith cometh by hearing, right? But in this secular state, people do hear about what they see. Because people know that principle, that's why people were all into the, ooh, look at my camera. Oh, check out my lights. Look at this. The camera moves and all, because they're trying to get you to see something. But then it's like, no, you got them on what they see, but you got to be careful about what you're saying. And if you're not saying nothing, it goes back to that principle of what's the value in, you pulled me in off the eye candy, but it's like advertising on which you can't deliver on.
Wow.
And so there's a story behind that focus behind you. There's a story behind the positioning of your lights. There's a why in everything that just seems like a little, oh, it's looking cute. You like, no, that's me because I do care.
Very conscious. Very everything is line, very conscious. And that's the point, I think, that folks who, when you rise up and when you look at, again, kind of bringing this back into a content creation conversation, when you rise above and do this outside of just doing it for fun, when you're doing what it is that we do from a business perspective, when you get that LLC, when you start having clients actually paying you outside of, I'm not talking bad about Cash App, but outside of just Cash App. When you start doing those things, you have to be really locked in terms of what it is that you put out there. And that's just kind of how the conversation started, right? How tonight's conversation started about you making sure that anything that has the Keith Pelzer signature on it is of high quality. Because you're doing this more than just as a side gig, side hustle, just something to do, just chitting, chatting on all the social platforms. You are actually representing yourself. You're representing your name. You're representing your brand, your personal brand. I say personal brand because we got Cher Jones in the house, and that's what she focuses on, right? Making sure people show up online in the highest possible quality way. And we are very focused and very locked in terms of how we do that. This mic isn't where it's supposed to be. These lights are blue and orange for a particular reason. But again, the layman wouldn't understand that, but you picked out on that. You saw that because again, we are locked in this same industry, and this is what we do. But I just want that part to just be subliminal to folks that I'm having the conversation with, and let's just have that conscious conversation that actually resonates with the community. So all the other stuff is fluff for the layman and for folks who may not be directly in the industry. But hopefully it looks good. Hopefully it sounds good. All of that stuff. But lock in on the conversation, lock in on the content. But yeah, there is real reasoning behind the pixels that the TV is behind me, and the fact all of that has been dialed in meticulously. There's been many sleepless nights sitting in this studio getting these angles right. But I don't want you to worry about that on the other end of the microphone, other end of the camera. You as a interviewee, right? But you as Keith Pelzer, listen, you see all that, and you know. So
no, you got it going. You got it, and you hitting it. And I had to learn for myself to not suppress what I'm good at, right? To not suppress or feel like I was at an event when we were in Georgia. We're at this event, and I'm not the photographer. I'm with, our friend Yana Crowley, who's Sunday's best second winner. I'm just shouting her out there. But just for context, so she's like co-hosting this big, Valentine's Day weekend event. All of us are dressed up. We're there, and she's like, "Oh, bro, you bringing your camera, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm bringing it, And I was like, I always keep my camera on me. I keep that thing with me, right? And I said, "But let me ask you, is it going to be photographers, videographers there? Because I don't want to get in their way and blah, blah, blah." She was like, "Yeah, they're going to have that. But you good. You can bring yours. Keep your camera on us. We want pictures of me and the girls." I said, "Cool." So I whip out my stuff. The photographer's looking like, "Oh, you go, know. Look, Worthy know what I'm talking about. James, you know what I'm talking about. Coffee Tech, John knows what I'm talking about." It's kind of like we just on our chill, we just in New York. You go somewhere and somebody's got their A7, whatever camera, right? But you got the G Master lens, right? Or, you doing a certain thing that they're not doing, and game recognized game, and they like, "Yo, dude, serious." I took all these pictures and gave them the link afterwards, and I actually got a gig off of that just by being in the cut, because I did not suppress my it. I respectfully ask. I don't want to be in their way because they're getting paid to do this. I'm with my sisters. I stayed in my lane. Yeah. But when they gave me the okay, and here's the thing that I did, I'm going to drop a nugget on some people right here. You always lift other people up without taking away from yourself, right? Learn how to lift other people up. You know what these photographers were just amazed at? I said, "Yo, I got pictures of you." It was like 4 photographers in there. I said, and the videographers, I said, "I got pictures of each one of y'all." And they was like, "Oh, for real? Oh, thanks, bro." And I showed them. They was like, yo, I need that. Yeah. And I got them with the camera in their hand on an A7R5.
Man,
with the Sigma 24/7. Then I switched to the 70 to 200. Here we go, Steve Worthy. And I'm like, pow! I got a fresh, clean shot of them. I did a little light touch on Lightroom, and they're like, "Yo, bro, thank you." And it dawned on them, I'm a photographer, and nobody ever catches me with the camera in my hand. That's the best promotion you could ever have. That's true. To have a quality picture of you with what you shoot with in your hand.
Doing your thing.
Not off your phone. I'm not hating on your 13, your Android, your 14, whatever. I'm talking about with that $2,000 lens you got. Who's got a picture of you with that lens in your hand with the same quality?
Come on now.
So the thing is, I learned
yourself, right? You can't set your own. You can't set your phone up or your camera up on a tripod yourself.
Listen, now that I got a 4 and a 5, every time I go somewhere, I'll put that 4 and point it at me when I'm holding that 5 in my hand if I'm stationary, so that I can get a quality shot.
Like that, I got a 4 and a 5. You know what I'm saying? God.
Wait, John said Keith is called a flashbang.
This brother got a, he got a 4 and a 5. Okay. It's like that.
Hey, listen, man. I love those. Man.
I ain't mad at you. So are you? So Sammy's asking you: are you more photographer or videographer nowadays?
You know what? I refuse to be in the lane at this point because I just landed. So look, true story, Sammy. Since you want to know, and Steve will like this because see, this is why I got to be careful looking at Steve, and Steve will inbox me or something like, "Oh, check this out." Like I don't want to see it, Steve, and John. I don't want to hear it because y'all messing me up. I have my A7C, right? And because I didn't like it for photography because of the viewfinder, I rigged it and I used that to do video. I messed around and caught those Adamus Ninjas on sale.
Yeah.
And I got 3 of those so I had to do a corporate video shoot. And I did it because they were begging me to do it. And I did such a great job at it. They asked me to do another one.
Wow.
And it's those situations where without discussing finances like that, they were like, oh, they told me what the number was because it's corporate. They got to use the money.
True.
So they were like, somebody going to get it, but we like what you do and we don't want to just give it to somebody else because you did something different with it. And you know what I did? I used that Edelkrone slider on the side. I didn't have the white balance perfect. It was like the noise was in the room from outside, but I figured out how to mic this stuff. I got that little Zoom 32-bit float and all of that, whatever crap that is. And I got him, recorded. And I sat in here for the fun of it. I put it together. And what I realized to answer, Sammy's question, yes, there is a divide between videography and photography. But honestly, I've intertwined both to master in some sort, both of them. This setup you see me on, this is because I was thinking photography when I was doing video. And then when I did the video, I was doing the video thinking photography, right? But then I was doing photography, but I was thinking video. So some of my pictures are moving shots, right? Okay. So when I take the snap is thinking the video, I capture in the video, and then the video is a movement that looks like a picture. So it's like I intertwine both because you're using the camera. So I'm gonna preach an A7 IV. Steve will catch this, John will catch this, you'll catch this. The A7 IV is called a hybrid camera because at any moment you just push a button and you record video and you go right back to the snap. That's how I do everything. I don't compartmentalize myself to one or the other. Now, do you lean in? Yeah, because at the end of the day, I am still a producer. I'm still a songwriter. I've been on hiatus because I had to go through lawsuits, this, that, and the third. But when I was in Atlanta, I was looking like, oh, the music game. Oh, I see a lane right now. Yeah. And it's about to be some fire coming out. Listen, y'all going to be like, Keith don't have as many pictures, but I probably will. They just going to be studio pictures. Because it's about to happen, bro. It's about to happen.
I love it. This is going, listen, 2023 going to be your year. Definitely loving that. Listen, brother. We got a gang of folks watching in right now, and the best thing to do is to cut it off right now whenever.
Right. Listen. I'm with you. Because James gonna help me to control it, and I'm learning from James. Everybody, ladies and gentlemen, I'm learning from James Hicks how to be a better.
Well. All right. But see, I can do my triggers with you. I can do my sound effects and everything. Some of these other shows and streams that I do, I can't do some of my triggers, but I can do them with you, boy.
Shout out to Mom Carolyn. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, listen, see that Keith, I think your own. Look, she dropping some things like that. So, Mom, you're gonna have to come over off of Facebook now. Again, I'm only streaming on Facebook because of you. You got to come on over here to the YouTube.
I'm a mama's boy, dude. I'm just gonna say it straight up. My mom is 77. That's my girl, man. Straight up. And my wife knows it. That's my Rudy.
I love it. And no, I don't think those glasses that he have cameras in them. He's got. No. So in 2 weeks when we do this again, he'll probably have the green set or the red set or the blue set.
I only got white, purple, orange, red.
That's all I got. Listen to him. Man, come on, brother. keep the conversation going. Well, Steve, listen, I would get you. You know the key to the front door, but I'm not gonna let you in. So I'm gonna shut off interview mode right now just to make sure don't nobody try to come in. But no. So folks, this is what we want to do though. Probably every couple of weeks, right? Time we want to be cognizant of time, but we want to just get together and not really have a huge topic, not have a huge runner show, not really worry about structure, but just sit down and chat, rap, talk about things that matter. And you notice there was a lot of nuggets that came out of it, right? Hopefully there were some actionable items that folks could take away. Kombucha, hopefully you about to log off and fire up a quick stream or something, do a quick unboxing or whatever the case may be. Steve, don't stay away from B&H. Don't go buy nothing. Don't go buy nothing, brother, because you got it all. You got it.
He got everything.
Yeah,
beans, greens, tomatoes, potatoes. You name it. Sony A7 III, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Where my praise break at? Oh, like I got to get my praise break on. Okay.
John got a ton of stuff. John be at that B&H like that.
Yeah.
Ton of stuff. Unboxing and stuff.
Let's see. Listen, I'm loving seeing the collaboration too, and the mixture of the communities coming in. So I'm seeing folks coming in from both sides. So David Harvey, see you, man. You know, shouts out to the ECAM fan. Yes, I saw that. What his mom said, his microphone is the same color of his glasses. Cool. Yeah, we talked about that. Lord have mercy. She probably just got off work. You know, that's what. She probably just got off work and then we talked about that. That's all good. Love you.
You said we did that. We did that.
Hold on. And mom bought me some gear, but she bought me my gear. So
what you get?
Well, y'all, I got the team no sleep. So I got the bucket hat for my boy Montel. What you doing?
That's the mic colors.
Right. Well, I'm trying to have a conversation, and now you
switch yourself over. Be the big guy.
Now you showboating, right?
I was trying to hit the button to see if I knew how to do it.
See how folks do. I was trying to show y'all know I got some gear, and mom, went ahead and got me some stuff from both my Press and Sew store. So my What's Up Yo, she got me my shirt and my Team No Sleep bucket hat. Because sports folks like to wear bucket hats. That's what I've heard. So I got that. Go get you.
I like that light thing in the back. See, I like the pipe light back there.
Man, come
That's
on.
That's what I'm talking about. Yes.
Purpose.
I love it.
Purpose, man. Okay. There's my little spiel. I'll put this little up there too. Shouts out to Uno Overlays. Ooh, boy, look at that. Come up. God, Joey. Okay.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
I'm feeling this.
I know.
I like the way you did this setup. Like a lot of people don't. The way you structured it, where it's like that rectangle on you, and then that's dope, man.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Thank you, brother. So, folks, please subscribe to my channel. Please subscribe to the Convos, to Keith's channel as well. We're gonna do this probably every 2 weeks, depending on his travel schedule, because he's got more stamps in the passport than I do, and I got a handful. But at least you got more miles. Philly to New York to Peach Street, because every street in Atlanta is called Peach Street. It was a joke.
I'm catching up with
you. Ain't catching
John. Look, if you come to New York again, and I don't catch you, it's gonna be a problem.
I ain't got nothing to say. Listen,
you come to New York or DC, you and your wife and your children. I don't care if it's whatever combination y'all in. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put it out. Tell your wife she show up on the East Coast, even if she ain't with you. She need to catch up with me and Tina.
Okay, hold on, because they are coming to the East Coast. They coming to New York.
Without you, they leaving you.
Yeah, they. Listen, I
might run up there.
She going to Baltimore and New York, April 19th through the 24th.
Oh wow. There. I might have to make that happen. If somebody's in them Baltimore streets I need to hook up with. Yeah. Marshall Fox is in Baltimore.
Yeah, you got to go see Dr. Fox. But yeah, so they're gonna be. So my wife is gonna be there with my daughter. They're gonna be out there spending money. Oh Lord, see that.
You're jacked now. Boom, 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 boom. know.
They're gonna be out there, man, spending that East Coast money. So yeah, I'll make sure that they connect up with you guys for sure, man. Key, appreciate you, brother. We're gonna do this again. Hopefully, you found some value in this conversation as well, man.
Oh no, look, this is the start, man. Like I said, because you know what, something's about to happen between now and then that I know you're gonna come lined up ready. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy.
Love it, love it. Dr. David Hunt, he just subscribed, so appreciate that. Yeah, he wasn't. I was an early subscriber. I told you I logged in at 3 a.m. when you playing the keys. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. We done. You got anything else you want to say, brother? Because I'm crazy.
No. I got next time. I got to holler at Worthy. I forgot Worthy was in Atlanta. So that food, boy. Whew.
Yeah.
You see my pictures, man? You saw that? I'm good.
We're gonna leave with that comment right there. Put your hands on him, preacher. We out.